Hi, I'm Crystal with Mocha the Genius Dog, here with Taiko, the Shiba Inu puppy. He is now 13 weeks old, and he continues to do well with his training and socialization. So we had really nice weather this week, and I had a light schedule with work, so we kind of took advantage of that and went and did some hiking and some swimming. So that was a lot of fun. It was his first hike and very gentle because his joints are still forming. So it was more like a little walk through the forest, but we were all by ourselves. So that part was nice, and we got to do some swimming in the warm river, which he seems to really start to be enjoying a lot more now. And he even earned a little bit of off-leash freedom when we were down by the river. I'm only able to do that with him if there's no other people, dogs, any kind of distractions around. And I also had Olive with me, so he pals up with her, and I know that I can call her back, so that helps too. But I only pick spots where I can keep a good visual on him, and the second he stops listening and coming when I call, he goes right back on leash. So yeah, and I just want a good practice, but I'm also trying to do as much off-leash work as possible in environments that I feel are very safe, because I don't want it to be such a novel thing for him. And we'll see, as he develops, as his prey drive increases, he may not be as reliable off leash. So that's just something that we take week by week. And he has to earn that freedom. If I can't trust that he's gonna come back to me or do anything that's gonna potentially cause a safety hazard, we're not gonna do it. But I work really hard on his recall, just getting tons of repetitions in. So it's something that I know is still developing and something I'm really putting a lot of effort into. So we've also been working some more with his sit down and stand. And because we did, hiking and swimming a few days, he was really tired the rest of the day. So I didn't get as much of kind of the obedience training that I had originally planned, but that's fine. The socialization at this stage is way more important to me. So I'm gonna take advantage of the weather and any opportunity we get like that. So I thought I'd just do a little bit more work on his sit down and stand. He's been doing pretty good with sit, both doing it from a down position, coming back into the sit, and from a standing position, sitting down. So even though I have sit, down, and stand as 3 different commands, it's technically 6 different behaviors since he's doing it from 2 different positions for each one of them. So down has been the one that he's struggled with the most, and stand is kind of somewhere in between. And those don't all have to progress at the same exact rate. There's going to be some things he picks up quicker and other things that he needs a little bit more practice with. And I also have been picky on the positioning of it. So I'm just not letting him get sloppy with it. So before he falls asleep here, let's see if we can get a little session in. All right, come here, Taiko. Good boy. Sit. Good. Down. So the problem I started having with down is that he has it in his mind that he needs to touch me with his foot, because last week I also introduced high five with him because I think that's a cute one. And I do ask for that one quite a bit just because it makes me happy. So he's pretty handsy to begin with, as you can see. So, I'll play around with it. If high five starts getting in the way, I'll back off of that to get more control of the obedience. But I actually like seeing that he's trying to get my attention. He wants to work for this food, and he's offering different behaviors here. So I'm just gonna wait till he stops pestering, give him that treat. All right, so I can straighten him up just so we can see a little bit better. Sit. Good. Stand. Yes. Good. And the stand, he's still wanting to plop his butt down on the ground pretty quickly after. So I'm also starting to work on a little bit of duration with it, just continuing to click when he's still in that position so he can see it's not just a quick one and done. And I've also been doing a little bit of that with sit and down as well, because I like those positions to have an implied stay with them, because when I ask him to sit or lay down, I generally have a reason and I want him to stay there a little longer. Down. Good boy. So this is kind of how you just start with that duration before actually introducing the word stay. So I have the treats in my hand, using a little bit of a lure to get him warmed up. He keeps wanting to just go back to my treat pouch and get it for free. Come here, buddy. Down. Good. So like I said, I had the lures in my hand, so now I'm switching to empty hand to give him those commands. Down. Good. Sit. Good. So I'm gonna start seeing if I can back my hand away from him a little bit where he doesn't physically touch me. So as he kind of reaches out with his paw, trying to make contact, I'm just moving my hand to try to break that focus there. Good. And if he keeps coming towards me like this, I can also put a leash on him that's gonna prevent that forward motion. So like I have a leash here that I just keep attached to the leg of my couch. So if I ever needed to put a dog on tie down quickly, I've got that easy access. So let's see. I'm turned around here. Taiko. Down. So he's still thinking about the tie down, but I'm gonna continue seeing if I can kind of just use my hand gesture to get him to follow through with that command I gave. Good, and he popped back up after the click, so I'm just gonna try to use that reward to lure him into place. Sit. Good boy. Down. Got my neighbor's dog barking, kind of distracting him. Also the tie down, because he's leaning so far away from it, it's changing his behavior. Which is okay. He's got to figure this out too, because doing sits and downs while being anchored to something is another thing he's going to have to learn. So I don't mind him working through it. You can see I can keep my hand just out of reach where it doesn't matter how hard he tries, he can't touch it. And this is fine. It's good for him to work through it. He's figuring out all the things that don't work. So that's why I'm not repeating the word down, because I want to see that I can get him into the position first. And if he's going too long without success, I'm just going to pull out a treat and lure him down and get him where he can be successful again, just to get in that routine. Stand. Good. And using a tie down like this can also be really helpful for stand, because that's one where dogs tend to want to walk out of it a lot too. So since he's been doing well with sit, I'm going to see if I can start kind of changing my position to go from a sitting position to straight standing. But that's a big transition, so I'm going to take little baby steps in between where he can start to see me just get a little bit taller, but where I can start taking my hand from being right in front of his face to having it up to where I can eventually stand fully upright and be able to give him those cues. Down. Good job. Taiko, sit. Good boy. So even just making these really subtle changes, that can be a whole different picture to a dog. And so it's good to kind of work through it slowly. And you know, he's telling me exactly what he understands and what he doesn't. So, and this is why I don't repeat the commands over and over, because I want him to learn that I'm going to say it one time, and then that is the command where it's going to be, you know, Taiko, sit, rather than, you know, sit, 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 all of that. Stand. Good. There you go. Down. Good. So in down is still one. He's going to need a lot more work with it, but I'm really happy about where he's gotten with sit and then his stand. So like I said, we spent a lot more time on socialization this week than being super consistent with that. So he's still progressing. He's learning. He's showing me different behaviors in different environments. So that part's fun to see. Taiko, sit. Good. And I don't really use these commands in a functional way yet. I only ask either when I have a treat and I know I can be successful with it, or it's not too distracting of an environment. Because if I had him out on a walk and there were people around and he's super excited to go see them, it doesn't matter how many times I say sit, he's not going to be successful with it. And I only want that good positive practice. So it's a skill that he just has to build up, learn the muscle memory of it, you know, just get paid for it enough times where it has value to him. Good boy. High five. Yeah. Good job, buddy. Okay. Good boy, Taiko. You want to come over here? Down. Good. So, and with his down from the stand, I really want him to learn the folding down, where he's just going to go straight into a down position from that stand, rather than starting from a stand position and kind of do the sit into a down. That can just get sloppy a lot of the times, where the dogs will get stuck halfway down. So that's why I teach each one as its own position, and the ultimate position I want him in, I'm just going to ask for it straight away, rather than having a two-part down where I have to do sit, then down, or he stalls out on his own. Stand. Stand. Good. Good. Another thing we've been working on this week is some grooming. You might be able to see, Taiko, stand. Good boy. You might be able to see that his color's changing a little bit. He was more kind of a muddy brown from his shoulders back, but his adult coat, he's gonna be all the bright red, orange color that his head is now. So you're starting to see a lot of that orange come through. And that is because he is shedding his puppy coat. So his undercoat was kind of like a thick matted, it was kind of like sheep wool is what I compared it to. So I started introducing some brushing. So I always let him sniff it first, just so he can see what I'm gonna be bringing at him. And then just kind of running it all over his body. When he starts kind of chewing and biting it, dogs can either do that if they're not sure about it or if they think it's a toy. So it's just kind of how you hold them. So like I'll have a collar on and I can like put my thumb through the collar or my finger through it and then hold his face gently. And this is one of the things I've, you know, desensitized him to with the daily body handling, and just as we play, like when I play with him, you know, I'm always kind of pulling on his ears, grabbing his nose, you know, moving it all around. And you can see he lets me do that just super easily. Same with his feet and his tail. I can touch him anywhere. I can move him any which way, and he's just not bugged by it. He thinks it's a lot of fun. So when I need him to actually hold still and do it, I'll hook a finger in his collar, kind of hold his muzzle if he needs it, and then just go around and be able to brush him in all the areas I need to. So that way, as he's starting to shed, that hair's coming out. Good boy. Good job, buddy. And then getting all the parts of him, because Shibas are a breed that shed a lot. So being comfortable with grooming is really important. Good boy. And you know, when I'm doing his legs, like he's gotten used to me just sort of lightly holding a foot where I can brush. And then again, if he's reaching back, doing that again, I can just use my hand to cup his muzzle, and then he's leaning his body against my forearm, so I can use a little bit of pressure if I need to with the brush. But that way, it's just kind of really minimal restraint. You know, it's not anything that he's afraid of, and it can just be really easy for me to sit down and brush him out, you know, every day, every other day, just kind of however much he needs it. Yeah, what are you doing? Good. So he's been doing well with that grooming. I'll probably give him a bath sometime next week. It's been, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 weeks since his last bath, and so we want to keep those skills good. Taiko, come. Good job, buddy. And just kind of going through the week, I realized there's a lot of stuff that I do with him just kind of in play that I don't necessarily like do a proper training session for it. And a lot of it is just kind of how I play, how I handle him, doing that kind of stuff. But even just stepping over him, you know, getting him comfortable with it. You know, we kind of wrestle, and I'll do a lot of this kind of stuff where he's down by my feet. You know, if he's in the way, I just kind of move a foot around him. Come here. But just everything we do is in play, where when he's in those silly puppy moods, you know, I can just do all this different stuff. You know, I trap him. What? He's thirsty right now. Good boy. But, you know, just all this kind of stuff. Pick him up, flip him over. What, are you tired? Again, just if we do it in play, when he's in a silly mood, it just becomes a normal thing. So I said kids are great at socializing puppies because they can just do it every which way. But it's always, you know, just making sure he's supported and, you know, flip him upside down, every which way. I'll hold him like a baby. And when I set him down, you know, he likes to hold his back feet up. So I've worked on teaching him. What? You're grumpy right now. So I worked on getting him to put his feet down to reach for the ground. He's not reaching yet. So sometimes it's just waiting it out. You know, I'll gently lower him. I want his little toes to touch the ground and realize it's there. There you go. And then his body relaxes. So just picking him up. Use your legs. Good boy. So then another thing that I like to practice with too when we're in a play session is just touching him. You know, when he's getting all excited, I'll go in and touch his face and his muzzle, or, you know, go in and give him a kiss. And he always makes a little noise. So definitely use caution with this. I'm watching his body language and I'm able to feel, you know, if I come in and pet him and he starts stiffening up or clamping down tighter, that tells me that he's being a little possessive and guarding it. But I don't mind if he vocalizes a little in play, as long as he stays nice and loose and isn't showing any type of aggression. But we like to play rough, so I kind of encourage a little vocalness. So as you can see, he's real light, he's not directed at me. And if I want it to stop, I can stop him immediately. Taiko, drop. Good boy. Good boy. So he sees that that is all fun and games. Okay, get your toy. Get your toy. But again, this is how we do kind of some of that rough petting too. So if I'm out and about and, you know, a kid comes up and just wants to come and, you know, hug my puppy or do something cute with him. What? And see, I mean, he's very young and puppyish now, but I'm preparing him, getting him comfortable, so nothing that happens to him, it'll be, you know, hopefully it's not going to be the first time he feels that. Oh, I get you. Oh, I got your foot. Yeah. Oh, good boy. Good boy. Yeah. Drop. Good boy. There you go. Good job. So even just kind of, you know, spinning him around in a circle, or when I've got a toy with long legs like this, you know, I'll wrap it around his back legs and pull it so, you know, he gets tangled, he gets rolled over. So this is preparing him for if he ever gets tangled in something. You know, we get tangled up in the blackberries a lot around here, and when we went to the river, I took him blackberry picking with me, and he got his leg stuck in one of the vines. And so because we had done this kind of stuff, he knew to stay calm and think about his feet. So he'll either generally kind of stop and look to me for direction, or he'll just stay composed and do it. But I've seen plenty of dogs that, you know, if they get their feet tangled, they're gonna really freak out and just be uncomfortable with that. So again, he's used to me holding his feet and doing different stuff, or I can roll him over. So, I know he sounds terrible, but he's just a really vocally playful dog. Like I said, I encourage a lot of it. So, good boy. But another, part of body handling, he's just rolling him over, where he can go any which way and he's not resisting that. But we do it in a real, kind of fun, playful way. Yeah. Hi. Get your toy. Get your toy. Good boy. Yeah. Good boy. Hi. Drop. Good. Good boy. Down. Good. And then if he starts getting too wound up, I can stop him. So I'm also working on his energy levels of going high to low, where he can be nice and calm and then do a break off and then get really silly, have a lot of fun with his toys, and then be able to take that crazy wild energy and then go right back to focusing. Sit. So he's learning, that these words have meaning, and it really helps his brain to stay under threshold and to be able to think and function at the higher level. And then I like seeing that the toy that he was really excited playing with a second ago, he's more interested in looking at the treat. And because he's just sitting there, I'm going to reward that duration, because when I start doing stay, I'm going to be doing a lot of this stuff. So he's already getting kind of desensitized to those distractions and wanting to focus and earn the treats I have. So I really like that. And it tells me that everything I've been doing has been working, building the bond, building his desire to want to learn and to work and to enjoy these training sessions with me. High five. Yes, good boy. Good. Stop eating it. Come on. There you go. Good. Come on, Olive. Good girl. All right, let's go. Good boy. Hi, Olive. You happy, pup? So dirty. Taiko. Olive, Taiko. Hey, buddy. What are you guys doing? Come on, let's go. Come on, Taiko. Come on, Olive. Good dogs. Look at those muddy paws. Some happy dogs. Olive, Taiko. Good dogs. Good job, buddy. Olive, Taiko. Hi, guys. Taiko. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. Come on, guys. Good job. Good boy, Taiko. Look at you swimming, buddy. Good job, Taiko. Hi, Olive. Fine, let's go. Good boy. That's a good boy. Good boy. Come on, Olive. Good girl, Olive.
Look at him go.
Are you tired, Olive? You're being too fast. A good bully stick, Taiko. Shh, quiet. Shh, you're fine. Big lizard, huh, buddy? Good boy, Taiko. Be gentle.